Ramses can take over.
Do they ever draft Ramses hero not last? Mostly, right?
Mostly, yeah.
Unless they...
Well, obviously the DP was a little bit early, but we didn't know that was his later. But that's the crazy part, right? You can be able to select a two mid heroes essentially, because they're not going to ban anything. Focus all their bans on Ramses.
10 seconds.
Still get this other hero. Even though it didn't work out that game, they could still theoretically make that work.
5 seconds
But
remaining.
only time will tell to see. They will be more. IO is still there, but
Virtus.pro's turn
Oh
to
my.
ban.
oh my!
Oh my.
Will Virtus.pro do what we said?
They are...
So they
Again,
Conquer
second.
Yeah, they're not first.
They must
pick.
have chosen side.
I don't think they're banning it.
I don't.
They're thinking,
All right,
so
all right.
they're
Who's
talking about
Who's
it.
in for the
Okay, I'm thinking.
They're not banning. No ban.
No ban?
No,
Cheever?
because then they would have to go through.
5
Oh no, but they
seconds
don't think they
remaining.
ban IO. No. I mean, this is gonna
Well,
like
we all
they're,
actually agree.
they're taking so long. If they were planning on doing that, like this is something that you could have decided in the break, you know. They could have decided, you know what, FYIO,
Yeah.
Let's not do it.
They don't look that confident though. They're thinking about it. He's got a piece of paper there.
He does.
I mean, they
makes
clearly
business.
don't know either.
I mean, there's IO, there's Naga. Those are probably the two
How do you get to
highest
this
tier.
point? Draft rate.
I think maybe they're just thinking about their picks rather than their ban. Probably already have the ban in.
VP did have the first selection about what they wanted, and they chose Radiant, by the way, over first pick.
All teams went.
LGD's turn
And
to
it's a
pick.
Bane ban.
All right, so IO,
IO.
first pick,
Ooh.
FY again.
Now, even though you lost game 1, don't
Look at
choose
them think
IO
about it.
here.
Yeah.
Do
Think
you-
They're
about
like,
Is that a
and they really
victory?
look at them
Huh?
smile. It's like, is this a trap?
If they don't
Can
pick
we do
IO here,
this?
is that a victory for VP?
Yes.
The VP takes it, right?
Yeah, for sure. And
Sure.
It's just
yeah, they're probably going to change something on VP though, because last time they took
10
Beastmaster
seconds
DP.
remaining.
So maybe they want to like steal a gyro this time around, not give it away
5
to LGD, because we
seconds
see that free Ags is pretty annoying to play against.
Virtus
Maybe they could also go
Pro's turn
Disruptor or
to
Naga, which is pretty good to
We're gonna do
counter.
it.
Yep.
Counter the Wiz.
And we are Oracle. We are Oracle.
What's the plan here then?
I mean, LGD could have done the same thing, right? They could have let VP have IO and see how they do against it, just to see if they could beat it. But they chose the secure option.
I'd like a Naga.
I think Gyro Naga.
Gyro Naga is pretty good, yeah. Or the Disruptor is also a good
10
counter.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, I kind of like
5 seconds
the
remaining.
Naga. Sure.
Surely they don't pick the same hero, so Beastmaster DP. They gotta do something different, right?
Virtus
I mean, I wouldn't be
Pro's
surprised with
turn
the
to
Beastmaster.
pick.
Beastmaster.
Not deep.
Go Gyro instead. Gyro.
Wow!
Animal.
What in the world? This is great. But now it's not going to be Rams.
Now, guys, what do you think here?
It might be a gyrocopter.
Wow.
Could it be?
I have my money on Hero Cup.
To be honest,
I think Gyrocopter.
I don't
10
think they're gonna get
seconds
Bloodseeker. Maybe Bloodseeker instead. I don't know. I still
5
think
seconds
gyrocopter, but
remaining.
if they're not gyrocoptering,
They're also thinking about it. It's really hard drafting here.
look at that smile as well. They're like, you know, someone hands you a cake, but the person handing you the cake is actually your enemy. It's like, is it poison?
Yeah. And also that game, they had a really bad laning phase.
Ember.
Hey!
Oh, okay.
It was amazing. I feel like maybe we didn't give. There were a couple. Yules would go up. He would put the Revenant on top of Yules, go kill someone else, and by the time he was back down,
All right, so
Here's a question for you. So we talk about how Wisp has these great
10
duos,
seconds
Gyrocopter,
remaining.
etc. The old tiny of the.
Mhm.
Do you? How much do you
5
think about
seconds
Agon and
remaining.
Scepter? Part of that.
the guy was just special because the Agnes is target thing.
Although he didn't go. He didn't go for that.
What about like?
But Gyro probably gets banned.
Yeah,
Virtus
you know what? Has never
Pro's
been.
turn to ban.
Okay, Agnes,
LGD's
give
turn
with
to
the
ban.
IO.
But who would you pass it on?
Yourself. It makes no
Wow!
sense.
Wait. Well, it takes off 40 seconds off the cooldown. 70-second ban.
Someday we'll.
That's
It's a
yeah.
true dream. Well,
They're listening. They're not
That would be
focusing on the
good.
game
I
at
know.
all.
Turn to ban.
I mean, I'm pretty still banned, but surely.
No one's.
man.
Yeah, the same heroes are available still.
Yep.
But we're definitely going to see a switch up here. There's no way the Ramps play DP this game round. Surely they will mix them. Only if they maybe pick maybe something like
seconds
TA
remaining.
for no one and try to go all out snowball. They could put a Ramps on it.
5
But I don't know.
seconds remaining.
Oh, Earth stood up and told. What have you guys been doing? what happened?
I go to the toilet. This is what happens. Oh dear.
Virtus
Like the third
Pro's
time.
turn
Oh,
to
what?
Oh my
Wow.
god.
What?
LGD's
That is a
turn.
blank
That's a
ban.
throwaway ban.
It is.
That's a throwaway ban.
Man, I love these next, like mental fortitude right
They
here.
do not want to give anything away that they might be like, oh,
That
look
guy
at
doesn't
that.
know. He doesn't know
Oh
what's
my
happening.
god.
Picking his nose. Stop that right now.
You got a lot of tips this game. I think. What do you think about
Solo,
more?
he's just-
Very red in
10
the face.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, but it's from laughter, at
Yeah,
least, not
exactly.
from anger.
5 seconds remaining.
What do you guys think of Ramsey's morph?
ban.
Just
last
ban
game?
it.
Yeah.
It's the same
Oh.
ban.
Well, what do you think of Ramsey's morph?
I mean, it's great.
I like it.
Solo Disruptor, by the way, that's a staple for him. Even when Disruptor was not picked by any other team, Solo still played Disruptor.
Virtus Pro's turn to pick.
Bloodseeker.
Alright,
You
same
said, I don't
heroes.
think they'll get the Bloodseeker. And
not
of course
sure
that
why
means
they
they'll
pick
get the
it.
Bloodseeker.
Of course, I was not doubting it for a
So
second.
why don't they pick the Gyro, who's the best with the Wisp? It doesn't make any sense.
Because they think Virtus.pro has that counter. The last pick. Wait, who gets last pick? Last.
Virtus.pro.
10
Or-
seconds
Virtus Pro.
remaining.
By the way, why Disruptor over
5
Jakiro? Jakiro was still, I
seconds
mean, if they're gonna copy things that have already happened.
I think
What was
Disruptor's
wrong with
just bad.
Jakiro?
It's against
Yeah?
the Wisp, you can just send someone back when they relocate in.
Okay.
And also you can just, since you see where the relocate happens, you can just prepare with the circle, kinetic field and ult.
It was also
Yes,
where
fair enough.
So this is Virtus.pro basically saying, hey, we might end up with the exact same lineup, but the reason we lost is because we screwed up something.
Yes.
It wasn't the draft.
And there wasn't not a lot of screw up either because they were dominating the laning
Yeah.
phase and the early game.
But that's very intriguing, isn't it? I mean,
think-
that's...
he like started fighting before really had just had that Yules and then he was in all these engagements over and over and like that one extra on that egg.
Yeah, they probably watched
LGD's
the
turn.
Miracle play it.
Lion.
Got a little
Oh,
bit
there
from
we go.
that, but then he realized he's not as good as Miracle, so gotta switch out that hero now.
So Lion for, what was it, Clockwork?
Yes, correct. Virtus.pro doesn't get beaten very often. So perhaps, you know, they just got beaten by LGD and they're like, well, we should be able to beat that. Let's tweak it and see if we can face the same lineup,
10
right?
seconds remaining.
No, surely.
Surely.
The
Ah.
gyro will be banned.
5
Oh, we're
gotta
picked.
go
seconds
for it now.
remaining.
Yeah.
Well, they picked Witch Doctor last game.
Yeah, Witch Doctor was in the previous
So you
game.
just pick Witch Doctor.
Double heal was
And they pick up the Lion, which is a very undervalued hero this tournament
Yeah.
for sure. And it's pretty good against Wisp because you have that burst potential, and Wisp is someone that it doesn't. Well, he kind of slowly heals you, but he's got those burst heals as well. If you can just match that and just kill the hero really quick, or kill Wisp really quick, it's really good.
Hex. Also okay against like that. A Bloodseeker for like 7 seconds.
They're taking their time.
This is definitely the one draft of the tournament so far.
100%.
Like, this-
Like, you're expecting, you know, top 2 teams, they're gonna be massive mind games. Like, well, let's ban techies. Let's not ban anything. Let's let the enemy have the exact same lineup. They just won win. And they could. They if they
gonna-
went for the gyro.
They don't feel like it though, because they're waiting too long now. They want something different here, and
Yeah.
What is the hero you want here?
Virtus
Hope you pick
up
Pro
an off
turn
laner.
to battle.
Witch Doctor.
Oh, you
go
just go with Master. Or you just go with one.
They instantly start the challenge. Yeah. Good.
Surely. Sure. And Big Iron.
Or you can ban, I don't know, anything else. What's here? Huskar.
Yeah, there you
Hero
go.
that nobody picked.
I don't think they banned Gyro. They
10
would have banned him
seconds
earlier.
remaining.
Like, they obviously
Come
feel
on,
very
at
comfortable.
this point.
Come on.
5 seconds
Like, what could-
remaining.
They want them to
He's
pick the same
even a
lineup
decent
to
Lincoln
prove
build.
that
Yeah.
they can beat.
I am with Suns fan on
This
this
is
one.
like a tier 1 team mentality. You know? They can be considered very cocky, but
LGD's turn to battle.
see, Luna.
Luna.
The question is, what is Ramsey's going to play? This is the big question. I do think they're going to.
Maybe.
if they want to pick.
Maybe they ban Gyro themselves
Next
for
level
fun.
play.
Yeah, exactly. Why does it look like I was wearing it?
10 seconds
Because it's black
remaining.
and it has a stripe, a white stripe on it, but it's not
5 seconds remaining.
As you clear.
clearly.
LGD's turn to pick.
Lifestealer ban coming out. Now the question is it gonna be 5 for 5?
I
It's
hope
just
so.
too good to say no. if you're
Right?
LGD at
Come
this
on.
point. Like,
Come on.
Like you know it works.
you're insulted. You're LGD and you don't pick
Yeah, that
You
shows
know?
that you're scared. You got to man up.
back. You're up a game.
Holding out
10
all the time
seconds
again
remaining.
here. Think real hard.
They're playing. They are.
5 seconds
Yeah.
remaining.
They're like, what could they possibly throw at us that would make such a big difference compared to previous games?
13 seconds.
It's going to be a big shock. I can feel it. Gyro.
Virtus.pro's turn to pick.
And
Oh! What?
Bloodseeker.
they
One.
No
Instead.
way.
Oh wow.
they got scared, man.
Unbelievable.
They got scared. Well, now the partner for IO, Bloodseeker, the double rupture, Aghanim
Yes.
Scepter. I don't. How does it work with Brew? If you're
You should
tethered
get
and
it.
you
10
do primal
seconds.
slit,
Yeah,
you
you
get
get
your
it.
you don't need to be tethered anymore.
That's
No.
pretty good.
5
Just for the
seconds
cast.
Yeah,
remaining.
that's very.
And then you also like those are kind of be like pre-set up and
Yeah.
then
So one more hero for Virtus.pro, and they will round up this lineup with the OD, which is also a really good hero against IO, by the way.
yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
They have a save. Blood right down.
Oh. I have my choice. I'm gonna go with IO again. It seems like a safe bet. What is his win rate? This like 80% probably?
Yeah, something.
Yeah, I'm
very
gonna
high.
go LGD. I didn't think I would go for a 2-0. BP are very confident.
Mm-hmm. Hey.
Yeah. I'll agree with Mr. NA person here.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say.
Bro, come on. Come on. You gotta go for that, right? Let's go.
I mean, I'm all
Let's
for a
go.
third game, and I'm sure our commentators will want to see that third game as well. Let's head over to them right now. It is Capitalist and God.
Surely LGD does not get Wisp. Surely Virtus.pro do not open the same way. Surely LGD don't get almost exactly the same lineup. Surely you can't be serious. Well, I am serious. Don't call me Shirley. Gods, what happened? What happened to our draft? Easiest money of my life. That's what LGD's saying right
chat
now.
will speak for us. This is interesting. IO, 89% win rate. 8 wins, 1 loss this tournament. That 1 loss, Team Spirit should have beat Liquid. They threw
Yes.
that game. So IO should be 100% win rate right now. I don't know about giving up this hero. At the same time, nobody's able to beat it. If there's any team who would theoretically put themselves at a
30
disadvantage to
seconds to
try and improve and test themselves and beat the hero, it's probably VP. They're in the winner bracket. They're a cocky team. Let's be real here. And given that they have a second life in the lower bracket, I think they just said, let's try and beat it.
But LGD did give us that curveball at the end. It was not the last pick Gyrocopter, it was a last pick Brewmaster, which does change it to an Ame Bloodseeker, and Chalice is going to be playing that Brewmaster in the bottom lane. We're going to have a small engagement here on both sides. Nice double stun, but the bounty ring is still all LGD.
As good as the gyro ended up being in the late game, I kind of look at that last game and think about which hero on each side was a bit of a liability, or which hero do you regret picking. I think the Gyrocopter was the weak pick for LGD because it put them behind for the first 20 minutes, and that's a position you don't want to be against VP. And for VP, it was the Tinker. This hero, despite having this amazing lane, doesn't carry the game. That is a problem in itself. So the adjustments from both teams is the Brewmaster off lane and the OD mid for no one.
So we do have some, we won't have the Gyrocopter Ags upgrade, but we will have some interesting ones. The Brewmaster, you can get the Ags upgrade for him. You can prop the Primal Split and get those big Brewlings that all have that extra ability. And the Bloodseeker as well. He can get multiple Rupture charge.
Yep, there's some nice ones this game, and see where FY looks to go as far as his tether priority. But clearly that frontlining Bloodseeker as the #1. Interesting that VP picked two like traditional 5 heroes to line with Disruptor. But they are going to have some pretty strong lanes as a result. RodjER joining Pasha in the offlane. A lot of harass coming out from these.
Both of them very good at being able to beat Wisp lineups, right? You have the direct burst damage against a hero before the relocate, or maybe even the Wisp himself. You have Blink Initiation, and you've got AoE control.
Witch Doctors had to go through this level 1 Voodoo Restoration. You look to stay alive against this lane as much as possible, as well as help out Ame sustain. But Ame himself has Blood Rage, so he's actually not being pressured too much by the dual lane, and that's where it does feel like VP offlane is maybe not quite having the success they were hoping for when they sent it up there.
They are getting an equal amount of success as they did last game, it seems. In the mid lane, no one OD against an Ember Spirit. Once again, it's an unfavorable matchup for the Ember. RodjER's going to be chased down by Ame. Not quite getting the kill. He gave up on it. And, well, that's just unfortunate. That would have been first blood.
Been a really nice boost to this LGD safe lane. They're already having a good time up here and getting good denies while getting last hits, but the first blood for them. I think the OD mid, the favorable matchup that VP wanted, deciding they've got a favorable matchup like last game, but also a hero that is just going to scale better and also just suit no one better. He's probably one of the best OD players out there, showing it here so far against the Ember of Maybe.
Brewmaster Wisp seems to be pretty good at being able to pressure, but Ramses trying to go for the Spirit Cyclone on FY. FY's still going to challenge Ramses here. He thinks he can actually do this when the Fairy Fire is pretty close. They managed to get the Hex out on the Brewmaster, slowing down the damage on Ramses, and he will survive, getting the first blood onto FY.
Yeah, interesting. Io had a style that he popped like in the middle of 2 enemy heroes. He was not going to get any real regen from that one, and heavily punished for it, and lose Death Prophet to the neutrals, just to self-deny, nothing much to it.
Solo, though, is going to get dove underneath the tower. They will be able to pick up that kill at the same time. Top lane, Ame did get quite low. Popped his healings out. This is kind of what you need to do against these Bloodseeker lineups, is somehow find a way to get a lot of damage on him and threaten him out of lane. But unfortunately, RodjER and Pasha, as you said earlier, not really quite having that strong aggro dual lane present.
Partly why the Death Prophet has the suicide to neutral bottom is you are playing against the Bloodseeker. You don't want to have to walk back to base while low health. You want to be able to heal up as soon as possible. Otherwise, the Bloodseeker will overrun the top lane. Ame, a little bit careful. Doesn't get caught in the kinetic field, luckily, because the damage output from those axes with the Orb of Venom Disruptor right clicking you is pretty fearsome.
Spirits nailing the bottom lane. Solo's pretty low. Ame's full advantage of that. Meanwhile, the mid lane is just so rough. You've got a pretty big deny lead for this OD. 24 and 12. 16-1 for the Ember Spirit, but he just picked up a haste rune. So maybe he can offset this laning phase by running around and getting himself some kills. RodjER all of a sudden discovers that maybe he had a little bit of rune luck. Will end up dying.
Nicely played. Doesn't go for that extra +1. He just wants to get back to mid as soon as possible.
Chalice slows him down. the help of FY, they certainly can just keep running at Solo. He does have a Mango, turn around with the Earth Spike. It's coming up in a second. Buys himself enough time. FY had to jump away. He does have a tether to come in. If Chalice spots Solo once again, and he spot him for a moment, they have the Bloodseeker vision as well. There's no way for Solo to get away. Bloodseeker at the top lane is going for the kill onto the... Oh, barely gets it onto the Disruptor. Gets a little bit of heal. The axes come out. Blood right, big hit. Flash is trying to kill xNova, but the Voodoo Restoration is keeping both of them alive. Ame gets the double kill.
Man, that's the result of everyone getting so low at bottom. Solo's Disruptor was on a sliver of health, and that just enables this safe lane Bloodseeker. 2 points in the third, he's able to get all this extra movement speed and damage, find those kills. And FY with the bottle is already healing up his dual lane, so really hard laning stage for VP, a team used to kind of coming out on top of this part of the game.
Ramsey's slowed down by the spear. Is hit by the clap. He's going to die again here. The Earth Spike comes out. They're going to try and finish off FY. Maybe Ramsey's can actually run away from Chalice. Gets one more hit. Sleight of Fist comes in. Maybe once again making some rotations. He says, screw the mid lane. That's not my home anymore. I am all over the map from now on.
Back at top, RodjER's being run at, and he does not have a TP scroll out of this one. Ame really chased through the kinetic field, however.
Always he had to go for the glimpse play. He does have a glimpse coming up, and now Ramsey's here. He does not have a Spirit Siphon. Glimpse back. Still silence up. TP out. Ame. Oh, it's going to be close, but he can't.
You go for that TP and don't make it out. Suddenly you're respawning fairly quickly, but you can't TP the lane. So a lot of downtime for Ame's Bloodseeker. But while this is going on, his team is pressuring a T1 towers. Maybe the rotation comes with a Siege Wagon. I love that move towards bottom, because his lane mid is pretty damn rough. He's not really farming at all there, so he may as well get these side lane kills, and if you can turn them into towers, it just makes it that little bit more efficient.
And Brewmaster, he can go ahead, TP up to the top lane, stand in front of this push. After all, it's a Death Prophet. He may have a Siege Wagon, but no level 6. As long as he doesn't die in the process of defending his tower, that's going to be okay, but that's why RodjER's going to come in with Kinetic Field, run him down with Spirit Siphon. He does have Magic Stick charges, but he can't juke in the trees thanks to vision from Thunderstrike.
A little bit ambitious keeping up there when VP aren't playing around mid lane at all. They're just giving no one this free lane. He is free farming, he doesn't need any help, so if VP aren't defending bottom lane, you've got to assume they're going to be doing the same thing, top pressuring it.
Blood right with the shackles, they're going to be able to catch Solo here. Ame is going to go for this kill. The OT is here with the imprisonment. They're going to be able to catch him with the Hex. Imprisonment up, Solo, 4 seconds for the Earth Spike. Can he just run down Ame? Ame commits to try and kill Solo and tries to go for the kill, but he is outgunned.
Did the Ember there, thinking about going back in, but he doesn't have level 6. This OD is level 8 against a level 5 Ember. Really speaking to just how one-sided that mid lane matchup is for the Ember, who has managed to have an impact. 3-0 maybe Ember, but he needs to find some experience. Otherwise, he's just going to trail further and further behind the OD at this rate.
Simultaneously, though, it is decent, at least, that you can rotate without fear of losing your tower, right? OD just isn't that kind of hero that can pressure towers easily when the lane's left alone.
And he'd rather just go for all those denies than push out the wave to the tower to try to chip away at it, because that's when you can get that easy experience. Even if it's on Ember, it could just be someone like a support. We see Witch Doctor mid. Suddenly Nova is almost actually hitting level 6 on Witch Doctor, and we're just 8 minutes in the game.
Finally, maybe does get his level 6, so he won't be out-leveled by a Witch Doctor in this early game just yet. It's funny that he makes all those rotations without even having his remnants. And he's going to find another haste rune.
The S4 haste runes coming into play in the early game.
Rune of haste.
Find these easy kills with them, although this one will have the same fortune. Is scouted out by a VP Observer Ward, though. It does look like Somnus is just farming some jungle with it.
Death Prophet has a free lane at top. Chalice finally gets his level 6 at bottom as the Brewmaster. And he's closing in on that Blink Dagger. Good 700.
Ame on the Bloodseeker just level 5.5 here, so a lot of experience deficit side of LGD, who imagine Chalice is telling his team we can make some plays, I have my ultimate, but group up at this point when you're already behind on levels, you're just going to find yourself falling further and further behind in experience.
At least FY can kind of catch up as a support. We saw how successfully he farmed up jungle non-stop the last game and beat boosted himself for that early level 15. He's going to be trying to do the same while still chilling out with Chalice in the bottom lane. They go for a gank on him. He's tether mid lane. Nova is going to be canceled, and Imprisonment should finish him off. No, not quite enough. So instead, it's going to be RodjER who takes that kill over the bottom lane. They do manage to run into the Wisp first. And Brewmaster, well, what's he going to do? He's going to pop his ultimate, turn and fight, see if he can actually kill the Lion and still somehow get out. Throws a Cyclone up on that Brewmaster, but he's lacking the damage to be able to finish off Solo right away. In fact, there's still an Earth Spike up. In 3 seconds time, he's going to come back and it won't have anywhere to go. The kinetic field's going to spot him out. He tries to put himself next to Solo, and it's close with 1 crit. Not quite enough. He gets sent back to where he once was.
Primal's putting everything in mid lane. TP out from OD. They went on him trying to look for a counter kill, but once that Searing Chains is used, there's nothing to lock down the OD. Really big kill on that Brew. Puts the ulti on cooldown, and that's kind of the big playmaking tool that LGD have, and all of a sudden it's taken away from them. Perhaps just gave away his life there.
Exorcism, oh boy, FY and pull him right back into the clutching hands of Ramses. Okay, you're gonna have to use another Urn Charge for that one. xNova's out healing it bit by bit. 9 HP, 7.
And 1.
And 1.
Okay. Underestimating that Witch Doctor heal. Death Prophet could have definitely got some more damage out there with the Exorcism, but he just didn't want to go in any closer. Not the end of the world. Just a support kill, but Exorcism was committed. Not that you're looking at these like 10-minute Exorcisms to achieve a whole lot.
Maybe jumps away real quickly. He's afraid of getting disabled near that Beastmaster.
Level 6 Lion too. This is where suddenly your 5 position has this big kill potential, and deward the cliff, make sure there's nothing up there, and immediately smoke up Solo and RodjER, hoping to find a kill somewhere.
Hemming and hawing, not sure which way to go. If they want to run mid or wrap around on this Bloodseeker. They finally settle it. We're going to go for the Bloodseeker kill. Glimpse him back into the Roar. Should be a pretty easy 1, 2, 3. Figure of Death and make Ame incredibly squishy.
Good for VP, just making sure they get a core hero. They don't smoke very far, but they want to make sure they don't have their smoke get popped without getting a kill. Going up like that river into the pop bounty rune area is just very risky that your smokes pops and you don't actually get a kill. Although getting a nice little D-ward as well for trouble up top.
Ramses chilling out behind no one. He saw that LGD were kind of itching to dive him, so he's been sticking around a bit. Finally shows himself as his supports try and wrap in, see if they can get the glimpse. RodjER's gonna spot FY, pull him back into that kinetic field. Now with the static storm, but Chalice gonna come in, get the good clap. Now with his ultimate double, triple remnant onto the 2 supports. They both get blown up, and FY will barely survive. Now they're gonna try and catch some more heroes in the back line. Ramses, he gets thrown up in the tornado, but they want the OD, or no? They're just gonna go for the kill onto Ramses. Spirit Siphon onto one of the pandas, won't keep him alive. Ame. Imp came in from behind just to make sure that no one could escape.
Good collapse on this mid lane. Doing it when you know VP don't have Exorcism, so if you bring enough numbers, even though you've had maybe a slightly shakier earlier game, in a 5v5 or a 5v4 scenario, you're going to come out on top if Exorcism's on cooldown. Not to mention Finger of Death, a very big important spell in this early game stage because of the amount of damage it puts out. If that's on cooldown, line is suddenly just a disable, no longer a disable with burst.
It's very interesting to me how different these Wisps play from the way it used to be. Like, when you play Wisps now, you want to be pretty much by yourself for like the first 20 minutes of this game, farming up the neutrals, pushing out lanes. Like, you want all that solo experience. You play a very greedy role as a support in this game, whereas older Wisps were a lot more pretty much passively sitting behind your core.
Really see it. VP seems to be looking to hunt it down. They'll find a Curry instead, but not perhaps the IO kill they're looking for. They are pinging out his location on the map. They seem to have a pretty good idea of where he is as they've set up all these wards deep in the Dire jungle. Quite well, somehow uppaid this gang.
So instead, Virtus.pro just going to have to go for the Exorcism push. Nah, they're going to hold on to it for now.
I think last time they used it, they got pretty heavily punished for it, and the Brewmaster split up in 30 seconds. Maybe wiser just to try and take these objectives and towers without using Exorcism. Save it for a fight that comes your way. Try and slow siege these buildings as much as possible.
And it's not like you're losing any objectives. In the meanwhile, the LGD team is a small push coming in the top lane. And chipping away at the tower, but nothing major. Nice.
Dire's bottom tower has been
That's
denied.
probably with the treads, even with that plus 40 damage, unable to get the last hit. xNova
Radiant's top tower
sneaking in behind.
Oh, Pox is gonna cut down the trees and route xNova from the side. They float him up. Chalice is gonna TP in, but Solo, he's ready to go with the instant. Disables the backline. They do have a relocate coming in, but no one hits them both with a big ultimate. Now they've got the control on the OG as well. Maybe trying to jump away the Remnant. Solo gets away from some of these heroes. Chalice finally managed to pop that ultimate, but who's he going to go for? He's still trying to track down Solo. Just pick up a 5-position support for this team fighting ultimate. That's just not going to feel right. He does manage to get the kill, but can he actually get out? 3 seconds. All his pandas are dead before that time.
Nicely done by VP. That's the big reason why they don't want to use that ultimate into the towers. They know their team fight is going to be that much scarier if they've got it. The Ember Spirit just isn't able to engage. All they can do is sit on the outskirts of a fight and chip away. And when you're an Ember with level 1 Sleight of Fist, you don't have that chip damage from the outside. You've got a 30-second cooldown Sleight of Fist. We saw it last game. The first few fights LGD took with level 1 Sleight of Fist, they don't look pretty because Somnus can't go in and out of the fight easily. And it's a similar thing there where he used one slight steering chains combo, and then that's it. He's done. He doesn't actually get the chance to come back into that team fight.
Scepter coming out for Death Prophet. So thanks to that good team fight, they'll have a big increase in survivability. RodjER ends up going down. The Blade Mail activated by Ame. It's hard for VP to return fire, but they just control of the Bloodseeker. Bloodright going down. Pasha has to walk out a little bit further. RodjER's going to take the damage instead. Primal Roar comes out and a Finger of Death. Ame's dead. Pasha only at half HP can keep on fighting. xNova's next on the list. Is going to try and TP away, but no one is here as well. Virtus.pro just squad up all of a sudden. Turn around and take down LGD top lane. Oh, maybe almost caught Ramses, but now he's going to go pull back into his doom. RodjER helps them win a fight at bottom and top. We do have a hasted Brewmaster coming in hot, but Scepter will put an end to that haste rune, and he doesn't have Blink, nor does he have Primal Split.
Might need to be careful with no Spirit Sight to cut.
Back to bottom lane, FY's dead. No one.
This is kind of reminiscent of last game. This strong VP early game, they get up to like a 3-4k lead pretty fast early on in the game. It's maybe once again, you know, almost killing a core hero on a sliver of health and then getting counter-killed, much like he did last game as well when he went for a Tinker kill with his Ember. But we'll see if VP slip up again. The IO, once he kind of gets a few more items and levels, can tip behind these cores a bit better. And it was the LGD BKB timings last game on the Gyrocopter, this game on the Bloodseeker, that are going to be so key to look out for, because that's where all of a sudden VP will have problems team fighting, because OD's damage very lackluster against these BKBs and very reliant on keeping people stunned and disabled so they can actually hit them with his Arcane Orb.
3-man smoke up from LGD. And they do see Beastmaster at bottom.
That was a ping. They saw the observer would get planted, so they know exactly where this smoke is. They're TPing in. It looks like they may want to consider fighting it. 4-Stuff and Blink Solo. Often the guy making these smoke games is running into...
You're still going to find Pasha. Pasha tried to poke his head out. Think maybe they could sandwich this lineup, but instead they're going to run into a Brewmaster ultimate relocate out. They can't catch anybody else. Unfortunately, it is a lot of commitment for a Beastmaster kill.
Radiant's middle tower.
It's odd that he kind of runs in there from that direction. It looked like Solo was going to go and tank it, and then he had an OD Blink banished behind him. Perhaps that's what Pasha thought as well. Okay, if I run into them, this Blink Astral is going to save me. But he got caught out in a position that was too far away from no one.
Oh, that mid tower just had one hit left. No one blinks in and takes it instead of it getting denied.
A little takes coming out from LGD. Now, very quickly add up. A VP side that is to snowball quickly here.
3k gold lead. Virtus.pro sitting at 18 kills in 18 minutes. It has been an action-packed game, to be sure.
Finger is up too, so he probably ready to make some moves, and having this burst damage, you can be tethered by an IO, but that first play from a Lion can always catch you by surprise if you're not careful.
A big difference from Game 1 to Game 2, though, is that we had 3 very good scaling cores from LGD. We had this Gyrocopter combination with the Wisp. We had a 3-position Bloodseeker, which is pretty abnormal. and definitely scales later into the game than many other heroes. I would say here, LGD, I think their lineup is supposed to be a lot faster. I think it's supposed to be a lot more mid-game focused.
Yeah, they were hoping that these Brewmaster split team fights would look a lot better for them, but instead it was VP who got off to a good early start, and now it's to take a pretty straightforward road to pass it with the Solar Crest. I think learning from some of the happenings of game 1, Shadowblade pick up again. They haven't got any Shadowblade heroes right now, but he still opts for the Blade Dagger, wanting that more guaranteed initiation with the instant gap close. We just saw how well LGD played around the Shadowblade with sentry ward traps everywhere, with the gem in the mid game as well. So I'm going to opt for a different build, and I definitely like the adjustment.
Better chance to get that instant disable on Brewmaster or Bloodseeker. Probably still difficult. Ember Spirit. That's the one hero, right? The Shadowblade's going to be a lot more effective again.
Yeah, the heroes who can respond, and that is not the Brewmaster because of how long it can pull down the Primal Splitters. I guess theoretically could blink if he's pretty fast, but yeah, much more likely you do catch him with the Roar. As far as dealing with the Ember, we're probably looking at the OD going for a Scythe device after his BKB. Lincoln's on maybe's Ember is not queued up for now. That can very quickly change, but BKB is also a much needed item for him. There is the Death Prophet as well as the Disruptor silences to worry about as well.
Smoke up from Virtus.pro gets a ward right next to that mid-tier 2. And they may spot this Ember Spirit if he thinks about, oh, this OD is going to push the wave into me, I'll farm that up. He pokes his head out. Fairly quickly get that lopped off. They do find the detection. Solo manages to find that ward, but maybe it's wide.
Not even going to try and defend this next wave. He's getting scattered out by a Hulk, though.
Anything about it, they're going to jump forward, manage to get the Primal Roar. With pure damage to the OD, they rip apart maybe.
Played Pasha on point with his initiation there, and does set BP up to press forward. The Aegis on the OD, and that little extra lifeline, and Death Prophet X's him up in 10 seconds time. But let's say that they're going to TP bottom. They're going to look to fake a push mid, but really they're actually looking for some catches at bottom.
Get the kinetic field, spawn out xNova. Chalice. See you later, xNova. No primal split, nothing. I'm just going to leave it behind. And that's fine, because Fenrir's getting a good push in at the top lane. He's tethered onto a siege creep, which is trying to take the tier 1 offlane tower.
Be denied by Ramsey, unless FY can make some of the amazing play, but doesn't do so, and that's money on the map denied from LGD, who...
Are they going to catch Ame? Managed to get the X's. He gets the blade mail out, though. It's dangerous for Solo to go for this finger of death play. Wow. Jump in from the Ember Spear with a TP out of the Wiz, and now Ramsey's on top of maybe. Not only does he miss out on the kill, he gives away 754 gold. Oh no!
Oh man.
Ame, he's gonna get donked on real quickly, gets the heal from FY, keeps him alive a little bit longer with a finger death to Chalice, though, can still clean up both of these supports. With the Brewmaster, he'll take on the Lion. Primal Roar coming in, FY, gonna get controlled up by Pasha, has to run away from that Witch Doctor. Still though, he's maledicted. More damage coming out from the Brewmaster. He's dead. Disruptor did get run down by Nate. So a nasty fight for VP. They got the Bloodseeker. Congratulations. LGD still win the fight.
That's the IO strength, and that is why IO's been off-map farming jungle for this long. Even with all the deaths he's had, he has a mech all of a sudden. He's able to sit behind the Bloodseeker, do that burst heal, force out those few extra spells to kill him, including the Finger of Death, and at that point, you've thrown everything to kill a Bloodseeker, and you've overcommitted your heroes, and the counterplay that kills that LG again, very straightforward there. You just chase him down with the Brew Ultimate and the Ember rotation in, and that was 4 hero kills going the way of LGD. Not fighting around the Aegis of no one. They got a little bit too cocky there.
And even if this lineup doesn't scale as well as probably the game 1 for LGD, they're probably going to hit this mid-game timing really hard. And that's why I think this game is getting a bit dangerous for BP. As they feed away some of this gold, you're going to have BKB now for Chalice. Once you get BKB on the Bloodseeker as well, this OD is going to feel a bit useless.
Triple BKB this early on, this mid-game timing, this is what LGD have kind of become known for. To see what VP can do, whether or not they can get those good initiations.
Oh, the tether was up in a half a second, but half a second is all it takes for Solo to get that instant disable.
break the T3 tower. For the high ground play, 35 seconds without exorcism, so won't be a fast, convincing push. And LGD, while they don't have Brewmaster split, they aren't really forced to engage or defend this when exorcism isn't there. He will just back off. Double damage rune has spawned down bottom, which we saw last fight what it could do. It was Somnus who had the DD rune to solo kill the Ramsey's Death Prophet, and then even had a little bit of double damage left on that team fight afterward, but not able to snag this one.
BKB complete. Ame quickly queues up now a Radiance as his third item.
And Brew had this queue. See which of the two end up buying it. Not an item you want two of.
Certainly not. Maybe Brewmaster. I'm actually not sure because they're both AC heroes too, right?
Yep.
Like Brewmaster likes to be able to hold on to those auras, but Bloodseeker, I think the increase in armor and minus armor would be nice for him. He also just needs raw HP against OD. Or really, maybe a better way to prevent the Scythe that's going to come out eventually.
I like it a bit better on the Brewmaster, just because he is more limited in his item options. If he doesn't go Radiance, like the scale to late game, he's going full utility teamfight items, and we've seen LG do better going for these late game builds.
That is a smoke rotation coming in from LGD. It saves FY's life. Able to thankfully tether out. LGD not going to be able to find the kill though. Virtus.pro still huddled around this tier 1 tower, and this is why we so often talk about that mid tier 1, right? It just makes these sort of rotations that much harder. This kind of smoke could usually wrap through into the offlane jungle or something if that tier 1 mid wasn't still alive.
Unable to get anything out of it as they do save the IO while smoked up.
Oh, they got the roar! Maybe tries to TP away, a bit sloppy against a team like Virtus.pro with a Beastmaster Hawk to scout you out. It is dangerous to TP close to the BP side of the map.
Being really good this game with the pickoffs and the catch. Last game he managed to find a lot of them, but he was often dying to do so. This time around, only 3 deaths and very, very active for his team, who likely are going to wait for that next Aegis, which will have a cheese as well. And that's where you can get the Aegis on the OD as well as a cheese on Death Prophet, and feel a whole lot stronger having just an Aegis. And you've also just got a few more items. Having the BKB actually allows you to threaten the LGD high ground. That first Aegis just comes a bit too early to really have a big impact on the game.
You know, I really thought that LGD was going to start getting a lot more aggressive. I guess they did just try a smoke and failed, but I don't know. Maybe they're gonna wait until they have level 15 on the Wisp. That's obviously a big peak.
Similar problem in this draft as the last one, where they don't have that easy initiation. Once again, they've drafted this Tricore where no one has like an instant blink stun or a long range gap closer like a Clockwork. Brewmaster has a blink dagger where you can blink clap ulti in, but it's not an instant stun. So many of these heroes can counterplay in that he doesn't really want to just be charging those kills.
Another great smoke read. Yep, by Virtus.pro. They just all run into the side chomp area, TP out, knowing that there was going to be that smoke rotation cutting in from the left-hand side.
They're amazing about that. I feel like I just never see BP getting pulled by smoke. Less than any other team. Last game, I don't think it happened the entire game, even though they end up losing it, but definitely not to smoke rotation.
And it kind of comes because of the wards. You have this ward in the ancient area, so they know they're not in the top side of the map, and then Ramsey's just met the creep wave in mid, thanks in part because he has tier 1 mid there, so it kind of isolates the area that LGD can be moving around stealthily.
BP have just done a much better job keeping these lanes shoved out, both top and mid lane. Helped by that tier 1 tower you're talking about. The bottom lane continue to be in a good place for LGD. They've done a decent job pressuring this lane, and they need to make sure in doing so that they are getting out without getting ganked. Problem is right now, Roche respawn pretty fast. BP mid Nexusism, happy to just use that one, knowing that they're not going to immediately transition to a push. They can wait for that Exorcism to come back up before going for it.
Yeah, you could see LGD, they probably know now, but initially they weren't super confident because they weren't trying to like pressure mid and bottom lane super hard. They're actually playing just a bit scared at the time.
Do LGD fight into the Aegis? They saw the Exorcism being used. Often you'll see these teams go for a team fight even after a Roche, but scary thing is it's an OD with an Aegis, and I just don't think you really want to mess around with no one's OD right now.
Yeah, and given how cautious they've been this entire game, they clearly feel comfortable letting this game draw out a bit, and they're closing in on that Radiant. Right, it feels like you've got 3,200 gold. It would be a damn shame if you forced a fight and lost your Bloodseeker when he's this close to the relic.
Yeah, it's becoming this game of like BKBs versus BKBs, where there's 3 on LGD side, 2 on VP on their cores. So you look at like who counters the BKBs better. The cores of VP, Death Prophet, OD, not too bad for Death Prophet, very hard for the OD, but I feel like LGD with the Rupture, we saw it a bit last game, this is just so good at kiting heroes. If you BKB as a Death Prophet when you're ulti and you're Ruptured, you actually just are forced to stick still, and that's where LGD are able to just kite back and then re-engage once those BKBs wear off. They're just so much better at kiting around with their lineup.
Yeah, and they've got like that really good poke damage from the Ember Spirit as well. So even if you pop BKB and stand still with Rupture on you, well, you're going to have this Ember Spirit kind of like poking and prodding. Maybe you'll hit like some of the back line, some heroes, some supports that you can't really get to because you're stuck in one place. Relocate away. And immediately Virtus.pro all coming here. They managed to catch with a friendly war. Now drop that ultimate. Chalice pops BKB. Ame's going to be kept alive with the Guardian Breeze. And now Pasha's going to be the one in trouble. He actually gets imprisoned safe for the time being, but now the OG is tossed up in the air and he's going to be brought back potentially. No, LGD actually don't want to take that fight. They're going to play super disciplined right now, knowing that Chalice has already kind of used his big ultimate. Oh, no one's going to try and catch him. Instant blink. Can he get away? Managed to get a toss up, but the axes hit him. 2 seconds, blink away, it's coming! Oh, Pasha missed him! There was that instant guaranteed evasion thanks to the pass of the Brewmaster, so Pasha couldn't actually get a right-click in to stop that Bloom Dagger. Instead, they'll get the Witch Doctor.
Well played on both sides. There's such good Dota coming out. Chalice juking with the Earth Panda, but solo, well, not solo, no one finding the real one. Unfortunately, then we get Cyclone, then Pasha getting the axes on the split as he comes out of it, so we can't blink. But even so, Chalice still makes the clutch play to juke him out. Problem is now, you have to defend your high ground, and LGD have a Radiance now. We'll see if this is going to prove to be enough. It just feels very difficult to just go charging into this Aegis cheese. They may just have to bide their time and wait for X's to wear out.
It almost seems like they're just going to have to give up tier 3 or something. Chalice going to try and challenge with his BKB. Put some threat into Ramses or something. The tier 3 is going to go down. The Blood Right does a lot of damage on Ramses now. With a Rupture down on him, they can actually blow him up, but a big heal comes out. And Ramses going to be able to stay alive. No one's quite low, though. He does have that Aegis. Swami leaves him alive. Pokes on Ramses, who no longer has that cheese to be able to get himself up. Now, with all that extra movement speed, he can chase down some extra heroes. He's going to be solo, trying to TP way too much damage from Ame. Go next. RodjER, he'll get out. TP's away. They did have vision of no one not so long ago, so they do know where he's at. They relocate successfully on top of him. No one goes the other direction. Managed to get the imprisonment out. See if he can blink himself away, but of course there's the instant spirit damage, so that's going to be his Aegis, and that's going to be a second life as well. I don't see how he's possibly going to be able to make it out of here a second time, because there's too much AoE damage. You just can't blink away against this flame guard. Tries to get over to the other side of the cliff, but a remnant from Baby will quickly follow.
Those are big kills. Such confident aggression from LGD. The second they get the Radiance on the defense, the Brewmaster understands his role, and we can't really find it as X's, and they can just take out buildings. I'm just going to BKB, walk in. He was 50 seconds away from Primal Split. That was purely to buy time for Ame to get back and for them to find that good initiation on the Death Prophet, who, despite having the cheese, is incredibly squishy. We saw once that BKB wore off, they're basically able to kill the Death Prophet a second time after the cheese regen, and a lot of that is just finding their item time and getting this Radiance with BKB. The Ember Spirit now level 20 has a BKB of his own, as well as a Shiver's Guard coming out. LGD suddenly looking incredibly strong, and they want to force this OD buyback.
Yeah, Beastmaster and OD really hate Divas. This AoE slow, on top of the fact that your attack speed is going to be slowed down. OD hates that. And then just some added damage and, I guess, intelligence against the OD bomb.
Yep. They just want this tier 3 tower, I think, then they'll back off. They'll open up the shrine to them. They commit further. They've got Primal Split. Gotta be a little bit careful. 10 seconds on OD to respawn.
Oh, Disruptor trying to come in with Glimmer Cape. Wanted to go for a big Static Storm play, but he gets ruptured instead. TP's back to base.
Yeah, and they know they can retreat safely because the Glimpse is not there. Once that OD Disruptor TP's back to the Fountain, the retreat play is actually available to you.
Are LGD gonna back off?
For a jump here, even into the Exorcism, they've got this Vlad's Brew split. They got some strong teamfight items now with the Shivers Scarred as well.
Haste Room for maybe.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And feels like those IO problems from last game are starting to kick in. You know, it's this slow start where you got to build up, get to that level 15 talent. Not as strong this game without the gyrocopter, but still pretty potent. We will see how BP respond to this, because once FY gets BKB as well, how do you
Dire's bottom
kill
tower
him on the
is
back
under
lines? That
attack.
was the big question we had last game, and BP will be tested once more.
They do have that instant blink disable. It's gonna be tough to beat if they can get the side. And they've got another instant blink disable with Solo. So we are seeing the power of their just instant pick-off potential. PSG.LGD are now going to have to play a little bit of 4 versus 5 while Virtus.pro are giving control of the map once again. They can go for tier 2s.
Dire's top tower is under
May lead
attack.
to the high ground even. They would like to try and force a potential buyback, which does not exist, so really nice pick-off to find there, and this is definitely the power of the support duo they picked this game. They did not pick a traditional 4-position hero. They got this Disruptor line, 2 heroes that both counter and can deal with an Ember very well. Force him to go with these items that are very defensive, and even with them, you can still get caught by a Blink Hex.
I like this Lincoln's choice from Ame to make sure that he can't get slowed down by the Primal Roar. Also warding away from the Blink instant disables. So that it feels pretty good.
Yep.
We're also going to have the AC for the Brewmaster, so just mass auras for him. Vlad's AC. That way he can still have that sort of presence.
And similar story to last game, he's itemized and got these talents where it's much more about being a right-click carry. The armor talent, the health talent, and the lifesteal. He's not getting this Blood Right, Rupture damage, and then Blood Right cooldown stuff. I even expect him to get the max thirst, movement speed, and damage at level 25 just because he wants to scale better. Last game it was Chalice playing it, but it was a similar kind of build, and it worked out very well then as well.
And he can rely on both his Brewmaster and his Ember Spirit to get some initial damage out to really get that thirst running. So that seems like another good
Dire's
show of
bottom
synergy
tower
with the
is
Bloodseeker.
under attack.
And for LGD, you just want these long, drawn-out fights where the IO guarantees that you can just keep on healing them, sustaining them, and making it very, very difficult for VP to bring down targets quickly. And as a result, VP is going to get lower
Dire's
throughout the
bottom
course
tower
of
has fallen.
these clashes, and that's where Bloodseeker will shine.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Go.
Did you mention...
Travis is just alone here, by the way.
yeah, I'm not sure what this is. He's like, I mean, he's
Nothing
got
to stop
BKB.
Yeah, sure. That's, this is, again, the downside of the PSG.LGD lineup. We saw it last game. There's no, like, instant blinks done. We're going to have to see some Ember Hex again or something.
Yeah, I'm sure Pasha is going to pick up a BKB eventually, though. Right now, he's got Nullifier and he's trying to work towards Scythe. So...
To give VP tons of lockdown for themselves. Wonder how LGD respond, because when a Death Prophet can just stand on the high ground hitting a tier 3 tower and all 4 teammates were like the other side of the map, your lineup has some issues that need solving, which can be done through atomization. Then you don't have any kind of a side to shoot up though for themselves.
Oh, hands on Disruptor. Did you see that?
Dire's bottom tower
He's almost
is
got
under
it.
attack.
250 gold away. Damn, Roger, where'd you pull this? Grab it out of the hat.
About to level 20, that's the DPM talent as well.
Oof.
Get even juicier for him farm at that point. Lion
So-
even with decent farm, 8k net worth. Has a shadow play. Oh, Solo's like, alright, Beastmaster, you get the blink, you get the guaranteed initiation, I'll get the scouting, the fun items.
This is very rapidly becoming a game where LGD just will not be able to split apart. Not even this Ember Sphere. Because again, he didn't go for Lincoln's. He went out just raw damage with his Mule there and BKB build.
Comforting rune of regeneration.
Maybe he was hunting for Pasha's Beastmaster there, but might catch him. See if
for his items to go next. Has got the Mjolnir queued up, which is going to be a nice little boost in damage output. Something he can put on the Bloodseeker. Importantly, and also, you know, Bloodseeker is going to get everyone very low with this. Seen a few times his Blood Rage Ember able just to slide a fist and spam people down at the same time. So nice boost in damage, but doesn't help out against like that single target initiation. We've seen him get caught out where a Lincoln would be nice, but perhaps this is too much. And similarly, we've seen him unable to have enough lockdown, which is where the Hex is also a viable item. There's a lot of items that feels like maybe can benefit from this game, and he's going to have to choose just one of them to get.
All right, surely this stalemate is going to come to a close now. RodjER is up. Virtus.pro have the much better Roche-taking team. They've got Vision and Beastmaster. They've got the Exorcism, which can pretty much solo it up, but yes, it would be the best opportunity for LGD to once again get map. It seems like statically, they don't get a ton of map control because the pickoff is so great from VP that they have to stick together.
Importantly for PSG.LGD side, they've got that level 20 talent on Brewmaster, so a lot of extra survivability on his Primal Split Pandas, which are starting to look pretty squishy, particularly against the Death Prophet ultimate with the Beastmaster aura giving a lot more attack speed for everyone. Big fight brewing is going to be a big deciding one with RodjER there. This is Roche number 3, Refresher Shard, could be a game changer as well. VP fine.
No one will find xNova. He may have denied the regen rune. Oh, they're going to be able to find more. Get the pullback here with the Hex onto F-Line. That's going to be ultimate support instead. One of them buys back. Now Ame comes in with a Rupture onto RodjER and starts right-clicking the other support. That's going to be Solo, who ends up going down. Ramsey with his okay, roar out onto Chalice. Now they're trying to wear the Static Storm onto Somnus. Maybe he's in big time trouble. No one sees this opportunity. Drops a hammer on him. Ame, he can't possibly fight no one either. He has to use that extra movement speed to run away from the team fight. LGD do not have a buyback necessary. Maybe Chalice, with his big pandas, can actually fight some of this one. He's going to be able to take down at least one of the supports. Battles with Ramses a little bit, but 2 seconds time. Can he actually blink away fast enough with all those ghosts dealing damage? He does manage to get the blink away, and he'll join Ame in a second. Ramses, he's a little bit isolated. They're going to try and bait Ramses in maybe, but no one.
Bloodseeker's back and fully healed up, but probably does not want to fight into this OD, who's got 28 stolen in. Even without the ultimate, he's still pretty damn scary.
And the Scythe is back up as well. Both teams a little bit skittish of continuing to fight it out, but Virtus.pro, surely they're the ones who walked away with the win.
Pretty even?
Yeah.
Dead even, kind of in terms of gold. But both VP, like, Harry stay alive. They kill the Ember while keeping Death Prophet and OD alive, so the key kills going VP's way, while Bloodseeker did have a very good team fight for himself.
And we can see, like, with this pick off here, I think the Witch Doctor was acceptable, but losing FY hurts them so much, and he did not have buyback because I think this Wisp really helps enable this Bloodseeker core to just be able to fearlessly run into the enemy.
Yeah. Oh, it's absolutely crucial that they have this IO backing up. Even Bloodseeker, Ember, whoever. It's something like Ember gets caught out in a bad spot. He could have been relocated out of that Static Storm if the IO is still alive, but it just wasn't the case. So really key that VP are able to find FY, the Shadow Blade on Lion, really helping them to scout things out and get this vision that they need and see where VP go next. They don't have Excellent for a little bit here, 20 seconds, and they actually will go into the Roche pit. LGD with the double damage on Chalice. They can bring this down pretty damn fast. They've got Blood Rage as well.
LGD is fearless. There is going to be a Static Storm inside of this pit. That is danger zone. No one's going to come in. Immediately starts targeting some of these heroes. They do manage to get the relocate out, but Ame, he'll be the one taken out with the Primal Roar. Maybe he's going to go for the back line. Does manage to take out RodjER. Pacha's quite low as well. Next, Nova, he's trying to get away from no one right now. He does a Maledict on him. He can't deal with the Brewlings. That is a wealth of damage that he can't possibly match. And Ramses, he's in trouble as well. A sea of LGD heroes surrounding him, but he managed to keep himself alive with the Spirit Siphon. Pacha gets a little bit more damage. Next, Nova has to be careful. He's trying to keep himself up with the Voodoo Restoration, while Ramses gets away from all of LGD. Both teams reset and back off. Skittish because of the fact that OD, he bought back. LGD don't want to throw that fight.
Yeah. If Bloodseeker has a buyback there, I'm pretty certain he would just use it and then look to clean up secure RodjER. He was 100 gold short, however, so it will not be a Roche going LGD's way. It was a tough call for FY there. He had the relocate save. He brought Chalice out of the Static Storm, thinking that Bloodseeker could survive and perhaps get his BKB off. He died just at the end of the Static Storm. couldn't use his BKB and heal himself up, and as a result, he's on the sidelines for a long time, and VP, even without Exorcism, is still in the Roshan pit. Need to be careful.
Yeah, with a Remnant pit, there's very dangerous proposition just going into it like that. Ramsey's 80 seconds until his Exorcism is back off.
Just stalling this for Bloodseeker, because once Roche is getting very low, and if Bloodseeker can respawn, this should be a Roche that goes LGD's way with Exorcism down.
They're gonna have to somehow, and I think that's why Ramsey's making himself like a target. He's putting himself on the front lines because he's the useless hero. He has to create space for no one.
No one's trying to finish off Roshan, but just can't do so, and now Bloodseeker is in fact back alive. Roche with the refresher shard, wanted by both teams, and neither commit to it just yet. Caution exercised by both teams. Only showing respect to this static storm of RodjER. The Aghanim's upgrade, preventing the BKBs and the item usage has been crucial, and the Roche pit is the perfect place to utilize that.
Yeah, I think it caught LGD by surprise last time on that Ember Spirit. They're not going to make that same mistake twice. Now, they do have really good pushing on the side lane. Ember Spirit can just go wherever he wants and is able to jump into the Remnant, so that should be another advantage that LGD should abuse at this point.
Yeah, they're not really pressuring the side lanes that much. Bounty runes come up, no one wants to go grab them because of how important this Roche standoff is. Everyone wants to be at the Roche pit or near it, except perhaps the Ember, who can get back at a moment's notice. Brewmaster gets level 25. I was just looking, there was like 6 heroes who are level 24.
Oh, he jumps in on solo and does manage to get off the Primal Split. He just wants to kill one of these supports, but he won't be able to find solo. Maybe he gets RodjER, but that's hard.
Sure about this Brewmaster ultimate.
Okay, they're actually going to try and follow this one up. They get the Rupture onto Ramsey. Now he's going to pop the Exorcism and just try and stand and fight, but Ame, he's dealing out so much damage. Does manage to get a lot of Spirit Siphon, heal out with the Glimmer Cape as well. He stays invis, and Ame is now out of his BKB, so he has to back up. Solo pop back. But LGD still want to try and take this fight. Managed to get the silence onto Solo. Now the jump in from Chalice. He has another Primal Split in just 3 seconds. Time the Primal Roar onto him. No one pops BKB, but he's ruptured up. He needs to be able to get this damage on his Chalice to make sure that Primal Split doesn't go down. He does manage to kill him. FY couldn't save him with the relocate away, but now he no longer has the BKB. He's a bit exposed to some of this magic damage. We have the Primal Split himself. And no one in prison, jumping away. He's at half HP. Ame wants to be able to track him down, slowed down by the Spirit Siphon, but Ame getting closer and closer again in prison, but it's going to be maybe managed to capture him instead. Ramsey surrounded by heroes time and time again. He has nobody to be able to help him out. No one's dead for 2 minutes, so it's all up to Ramsey to somehow get away, and that's just not going to happen. Both cores are dead for 2 minutes now. Roshan's available. The base is available. The world is LGD's oyster at this point.
They blow this game wide open, and they're going to get mid-rack. So they're going to go for the T4. They know there's no buyback. GG is called. VP have been 2-0'd. What a spectacular couple of games. These two squads look so damn even. VP trying to be there for a second time, and once again coming up a bit short. This game didn't feel as much about the IO, but it still had a big impact. 2 ruptures in that last fight. The first on the Death Prophet, the second on the OD. That's how he ends up dying there, because he just can't move around the fight. And LGD just seemed to have all the answers.
You can talk about it, you can scrim against it, you can theory craft it, but it looks like you just can't seem to give this wisp away.
It looks that way. If BP can't beat it, that was 2 games in a row. They even had a great early game, and the IO